First thing we do is clap, okay? Because we always celebrate that we're right where we're supposed to be. Because when we allow and accept for ourselves to be right where we are, we open up ourselves to receive more. And we position ourselves to move through whatever it is we're moving through in a way that we feel empowered. If we're in judgment, if we're critical, if we're shame, guilt, anger, resentment mode about where we are, we get very limited movement because those judgments get in the way. Because we're too busy woulda, coulda, shoulda. We're too busy projecting responsibility and blame and other energies outside of ourselves onto other people and other experiences and things instead of owning it for ourselves and saying, wait a minute, I'm responsible. Oh, and I'm okay. I'm just human. I've got this human experience going on. Oftentimes we feel like we shouldn't have human experiences going on. We're supposed to be having like perfection God moments going on in our lives. Well, we were not created as perfected gods, in my opinion. We have godlike potentialities, but our whole experience here is to be a human being, period. Being a human being and to learn and grow from doing things that human beings do, both good things and bad things. Contrast is always required to learn. We cannot learn without contrast. I've got to be able to choose one thing or the other, and I have to have free will to choose. So let me write those things down, because they're important. First, we have to have free will. Second, we have to have contrast. When we have those things, then we get free will plus contrast plus a decision or choice equals a result. I'm not done yet. And the result produces a lesson, which then can produce growth. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is human being stuff. This is why do we have war? Why do we have sickness? Why do babies die? Why is there starvation? You know, people say, well, if God was God, none of those things would happen. No, that's not true at all. Because God is God, He's created a planet for us to come down here and learn on. And He goes, well, you're not going to learn if you don't have any if I make you make all the right choices, you don't have free will. There's no learning. You don't learn how to make a choice. You don't learn what decision to make. And you're certainly spared any results of choice B, because you're only allowed to make choice A. So very limited learning. He's like, hey, you get full contrast, which means you have war and peace. You have poverty and you have abundance. You have feast, you have famine. You have pain, you have joy. You have sadness, you have happiness. Okay? Without that contrast, there's no full opportunity to learn. When we're judging on things, we're shutting down this human being because we're not allowing us to get to this part. We're not allowing ourselves to get to the growth because we're too busy judging, thinking that it's bad that where we are, or we're not supposed to be where we are, or that we're supposed to be perfect. No, there's no such thing as perfection. So when we can release and let go of that idea that things aren't supposed to be the way they are, we can then ask the question, because things are the way they are, what am I learning? What am I learning? What new choices can I make right now that will create a different result? And what will I learn from that? And how will that impact my next choice? And that puts us in the cycle of being a human being. Rather than a human doing, caught up in what we're doing all the time. And judging ourselves simply based on success versus failure, rich versus poor, war versus peace, health versus sickness, whatever it is. So that's why I always say we're right where we're supposed to be. If we were supposed to be any different in our relationships, job, money, family, geographic location, physical things that we have around us, we would be. So stop hating and judging on what isn't or hasn't occurred or is supposed to be occurred, and instead embrace everything as it is. And if it doesn't feel good or doesn't align with joy, peace, or happiness, what next choice can you make to go in that direction? It's kind of like, it's a puzzle. You know, I've had a couple of conversations recently with people that are dealing with certain situations going on in their life. And it kind of reminds me, one of them was working on a puzzle. And so it's the perfect metaphor, really, because if you've got a 1,000-piece puzzle, you're putting things together one at a time. And what's the technique to putting the puzzle together?
See if it fits.
Well,
Yeah. Start on the outside.
first you look for all the straight edges, right? So that you can create the frame, and then you work inside, right? Okay. But we've got all these pieces of the puzzle. And we're constantly looking for pieces that fit. Now, when we're putting together a puzzle, we're just grabbing pieces or we're looking at pieces. Now, very rarely do we consistently grab the perfect piece that fits the very first time we grab a piece. Don't we grab a piece, look at it, look at the color, we might even try to make it fit if it looks close, right? All right? It's really about creating something that fits but we're in a hurry. So sometimes we'll grab pieces and we'll try and force it. This piece is supposed to work. Or we go into that judgment mode. This piece should work. It's the same color. I've got 2 black pieces or 2 white pieces. All right? They should fit together. But then when we try and make them fit, something's just off. And it doesn't take much to be off. Just a small little part of it can be off. Now, do we judge the piece that doesn't fit? Do we curse it, swear at it, kick it to the curb? No, we just say, it doesn't fit. And we put it aside. Knowing that what? It will fit somewhere else. It will fit at another time. It will fit as part of a different order or sequence of putting things together. Okay? Finding things that fit is our primary goal in life. When things fit, we feel like we're aligned, consistent, authentic, which creates a feeling of peace, satisfaction, fulfillment, joy, empowerment. When you all are out doing your daily work, your daily profession, how does it feel when you come across a client that you just can't satisfy? Frustrating. Okay? We feel like they should be a fit for us, that they should want our product or agree with our approach or want what we have or like us, okay, or accept us, want to do business with us. When in reality, they don't fit what we have to give them. Either they don't want it or it's just not the right solution. Hey, I like what you're selling, but it doesn't have this. You know, I like the chair that you're trying to give me, but it tilts too much, or it's got the wrong padding. I'm looking for different padding. Okay? Not a fit. Fit, not a fit. Fit, not a fit. Say it out loud with me. Fit, not a fit. Say it again. Fit, not a fit. Okay?
And I guess it's okay to say this person's not a good fit for me or a good fit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I had this.
But we keep trying.
We keep trying.
We keep trying.
What's up, David? How you doing, man?
Trying
Good to see you.
different ways. We keep trying and like this, and why isn't it working? And we blame ourselves.
Right.
It's not working.
Right. Because what we're trying to do is we think.
So why do we keep trying?
We think because we think it has to fit.
Or we think, well, gosh, that person's kind of nice, and we hit it off right, at first, but now I want to kill my client.
We think in the we think in the terms of should, supposed to, why not, have to. Have to's the big one. This has to work. This relationship has to work with this person. Because if it doesn't, I'll never love again. I'll never find. How often do we hear people say that?
Always. This was the one.
This was the one. This was supposed to be the one.
I hate that when people look, I'm looking for my soulmate. Well, guess what? They're probably more than 1 to 5.
Thank you. And that.
Soulmate is in China.
Thank you.
Somewhere, and you'll never find them.
And that's why a whole key to this, and we'll come back to it. That's the key. The whole key to this.
But it said, looking for my soulmate. I'm like, good luck with that.
There's many soulmates.
The whole key is the abundance mindset. See.
Yeah, I'm more open. I'm like, well, I have to put out.
Abundance.
If I don't have an abundance mindset, there's not enough love out there. I've already dated or married or whatever the people that were supposed to be a match for me, and they weren't. So, because I have failed, the last one was supposed to be, this one has to be, because after this, because if it's not, it must mean I'm unlovable, or there's no one out there who will love me the way that I'm looking to be loved. Okay? Or the ratio in Atlanta is too skewed, men to women. I mean, whatever, make up the reason, right? But we project judgment if it doesn't fit. I was talking to a person this week about a relationship. And they're considering whether to stay together or break up. And I'm like, can you say that the relationship is not a fit to yourself? Well, here's another question I asked. So, knowing everything you know about this relationship and this person and yourself, if you were to go out on Match.com and then meet somebody just like this person, if you knew that they had all the qualities and stuff that your current person has, would you want to date them? And they said no. Okay? Isn't that a good question to ask ourselves? Okay?
That's my ex-boyfriend. I wouldn't pick you one. Match.com.
Right. Okay? I wouldn't pick them on Match.com, but
But people put that.
I can't get out, I don't want to end the relationship, or I'm questioning whether I should end the relationship, but I wouldn't go out if I was looking for somebody and get somebody else. Okay? And so, but the whole thing was, see, this is too, if I say not a fit, it's not a judgment. It's just an observation. Because I can say, you know what? No, I would not select, a different person right now that had these qualities, because I know that that kind of person would not be a fit for me, right? Or would not, I wouldn't want it. Okay? Well, if I can then say, this person is not a fit. Now here's the thing. This person is not a fit for continuing the relationship or taking it to the next level. Okay?
I'm going to go home and do it to my wife.
She's not a fit.
I want you to write down a profile
Profile for you.
and read. And I'll write one down.
That would be good. See where they're different.
So what if you don't match the profile, brother?
I want to see.
Then you don't want to see.
Plus, I want to see how she
Perceives.
see herself
Um,
when she.
that's true, because your
I think
perception
that-
is your reality. So
Right.
maybe if you're thinking, oh, I didn't know that was, I did that, or I've had people say that, oh, I didn't know, that was one of the best
Like
qualities about
people
me.
write down. I mean, what you see, but they write down exactly maybe something a little different.
Yep.
Than what they think they are.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That'd be interesting
Yeah.
to try.
Some people say, I'm not judging.
It's if nothing else, the benefit of that exercise is the first thing you do is you get clarity about yourself.
Right.
Yes.
Well, wait a minute, what qualities am I looking for? And then the next question is well, do I represent, if I'm looking for open and honest communication with somebody, wait a minute, let me check in with myself. Am I an open and honest communicator? So you want to reflect, make sure you're reflecting the same things that you're looking for somebody. But see, people, sometimes we think that if we end a relationship that doesn't work out, that was supposed to have worked out, that we have to judge the relationship as bad. Okay? Or we have to judge ourselves as we suck. We're bad at love. Okay? No. Saying not a fit, you can still say, I love you, I will always love you, thank you. The relationship lasted just as long as it was supposed to. I honor you, I honor the relationship, I honor the journey of this relationship with you and the great times. We're just not a fit for continuing the relationship or moving forward because we are different. It's okay for you to be different too. There's nothing that I should force you to fix or that you should force upon me to fix. And if I can look at not a fit in that regard, if I can look at, and this is true with anything too, clients, customers, family members, not a fit doesn't mean devalue.
Or that you never speak to them again.
Right, or it sets up some dramatic undertones or overtones that have to exist for a period of time. Hey, we just weren't a fit. That's okay. Not every piece of the puzzle. We started talking about puzzle pieces, jigsaw puzzles, and fitting the pieces. That's what those are. And so it's okay if this piece doesn't fit. It's okay if this relationship, after we've spent some time in it, we realize we're a little different. And releasing the need to judge that difference as something bad or terrible that's not supposed to be there. No, thank God for the contrast and the difference. It's okay. And the only way we would have discovered this is if we spent time together getting to know each other. Because you don't know it on the first date. You don't know it on the first client meeting. Okay? And we think that just because we've invested days, weeks, months, or even years in a relationship and it still doesn't work out, that again we have to judge it. Oh, it was a waste of time. No, it wasn't a waste of time at all because of all of this has been going on. that we attracted into our experience, whether we were aware of that attraction or not. And so the whole question is getting to a point where nothing has to fit. Nothing has to fit. The fact that something doesn't fit is not a reflection on who we are. Now, we can still change if we want to fit better and we're open and available to changing some dynamics of behavior or developing some new skills. That's great. Okay? But that's where we want to fit. I do those things because I want to fit, or I want to be available for the experience of seeing how well we are a fit. If we can be a fit where we're different. That's where counseling and coaches and things like that come in to play a role in teaching people new skills, and it works for a lot of people. They go, oh, well, we just needed to listen better to each other and talk better, learn some communication skills.
Yeah, some people are not open to do that.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm okay with the way I am.
Right.
Okay, that's fine.
And so looking at it with this perspective enables us to get to the point where take the pressure off. Okay? Take the pressure off of finding love or moving on from love or a business or family or whatever, the work environment, whatever it is. Take the pressure off because nothing has to fit. Okay? In fact, it can be disrespectful of myself and to you to try to make it fit. You should change, and this is the way you have to change in order for us to stay together. Oh, really?
The ultimatum.
Right? The ultimatum.
Whoa.
You have to change, and if you don't change, I'm out. Now, that's one way to say it. Okay? The other way would be to say, you know what? You don't have to change at all. But because I value, fill in the blank, I'm open and available for participating in a relationship that includes fill in the blank. Are you available for participating in a relationship that also values fill in the blank? And then you see how they respond. Is that coercive in nature? Does it shame somebody or make them feel bad that they are the way that they are? I mean, this is where you still draw your lines of respect. Even in the cases of, physical abuse, substance abuse, domestic violence, all those things, this says, wait a minute, whoa. Let me speak my truth. Here's my boundary. I am only available for relationships that demonstrate respect, love, kindness, and compassion, and emotional health. Are you available for participating in a relationship that shares those kind of values? And oh, by the way, this is what it looks like, feels like, and sounds like to me. How would those values look like, feel like, and sound like to you? And you allow them to make the choice. And then self-respect kicks in when they fail to demonstrate the values that are aligned with,
Do you want to fit?
do you want to fit?
So my last relationship, it was, this is who I am. I don't want to compromise. So she did not want to fix. I guess.
Sure.
Is that
That's it.
Wasn't
accurate?
She wasn't
Sure.
open to the compromises that
You didn't share the same
that-
perspective, values.
And that's okay because she's a great woman.
Yeah. And so it
She
would.
did not want to fit. Is that correct? Is that good? Is that bad?
Well, she didn't want to fix.
Does it have to be either good or bad?
No, I'm, okay.
See what I'm saying? What if it just is?
It just is.
What and you're allowed to have your. We're all allowed to have our preferences, right? And what we like and what we don't like, and what we're willing to do and expend energy for. And it, again, it depends on if we're judging it or not. Okay. Had another conversation with a person too this week about love. Well, somebody said that they love me, you know, and I don't think that they loved me at all because fill in the blank. This happened. This happened. This happened. I'm like, how are you getting to that judgment? What is loving somebody anyway? Don't we all love to the best of our ability based on what we know and how we're showing up anyway? Is there only one way to demonstrate love? And if you don't demonstrate it exactly in this way, then it's not love? Since when? There's 7 billion ways to love in this world. Why? Because there's each individual's perspective and experience with love and of relationships and of emotional health and of their ability and their experience. Who's to say somebody said they love you, but they didn't love you? So that's another thing we'll get resentful and angry on, is that either at that person, because they told us they loved us, but they didn't bring love the way we saw love. Okay? Or we can get angry at love itself. Love let me down. The experience of love let me down. Because this person told me they loved me and they cheated on me, or they weren't available for this, or they had a substance abuse problem, or fill in the blank. And so we instantly go to, well, they didn't love me. And then it's too easy from that statement to go, well, then there must be something about me that's bad or not lovable. If they said they loved me, but they really didn't, geez, if only I had, if only I shoulda, woulda, coulda, maybe they really would have loved me, but I feel rejected now and, you know, unaccepted and not good enough. Or that person could never love anybody, they're a rotten person, they've got no business, you know, doing, you see what I'm saying? The judgment goes both ways. But if I go, wait a minute, you know what? I never have to judge somebody's love for me by how they show up. In fact, I'll take them at face value if they say, I love you, John. I love you too. We're just not a fit for moving forward and continuing the relationship in a way because we're two different people. And I absolutely accept that you are convinced that you're loving me to the best of your ability as you understand love and as you think and have experienced love. It's just not a fit for my experience of love. And it's okay for us to have two different values for love. Or values for business. Or values in the work environment.
Yeah, 'cause sometimes opposites attract in all those environments.
Sure.
Because there might be some things that in the business person, you like, I really need to learn that, or I need to do better at that. And then there's some conflicts because, you know, you were willing to open yourself to learn, but maybe they weren't wanting to learn from you.
Sure.
And you're just kind of like, okay, well, you know, show up available.
That's right.
Show up available, and it's amazing when you just step back and say, okay, I'm learning and growing. I'm showing up available. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. It's not my job to make sure they do what they're supposed to do. The person I can change is me.
Right.
And that's real hard, even though you try to explain.
No, thank you for sharing that. Because oftentimes we can have a codependent dynamic going on where we think it's our job to fix somebody.
It's not your job.
Oh, you're not really loving me the way I want you to love me. If only I can fix you and get you to see or change your behavior, either coercively or through a codependent relationship or ultimatums, then I'll feel love. That's not even real love. Coerced love is not love.
It's funny, you should have been at this law of attraction meeting I went to yesterday. That ended up talking, there's a lot of women too, ended up talking about relationships. And it's just one lady that I've seen a couple of times. And she has this concept. I mean, she's always talking about relationships. She's in her mid-50s. And you have to hear her when she talks. She doesn't believe she's judgmental, or she want them to do it the way she want them to do it. She feels but when she talks, she doesn't hear the words that she uses. And even the guy who organized it, he said, I wish I had a recorder so you could hear yourself when you talk. Because you are in your mind, because she believes that for her, law of attraction for her is that you get back what you put out. So it's always you that attract the person that you want to have. And the guy says, well, if that's right, if that's correct, why would you want to change what you attract? I mean, why all of a sudden you want him to change the way you want him to, the way you think he should be, or
Right.
the way you think you love him?
Right.
He should love you.
That's a good question to ask. Yeah.
What enlightened you when you first met that person?
Exactly.
Right.
And she was tough though. She was tough because she talked. You just said earlier about manipulation.
Sure.
I mean, she was doing stuff like, or she was saying when someone has less love, you give more love. And I was like, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. No. Giving somebody more love who has less love does not fix them. No, it does not equal. In fact, that's the definition of codependence.
Because I read that book, Codependent No More.
Yeah.
Because when someone says that, what you just said was true, subconsciously, that's why the guy said, we need to record her.
Right.
She's believing these
Right.
things, but it's not right in her brain and she's not saying it correctly.
Yeah.
Because it's not working.
Right.
And don't put that, excuse my language, don't put that crap in someone else's head.
Yeah.
Because that's not the way it works.
Yeah.
You know? I don't.
But see, that's just another example of she's had her experience of love and relationships that have conditioned our thoughts and beliefs. So that's why I say pay attention to our thoughts, our words, our actions, and our feelings, so that we're going, well, wait a minute. How did I come up with this? Why am I showing up this way? Why isn't it interesting that I think that if I'm in a relationship with somebody who is unavailable to love, that by me trying to love them more, wait a minute, let me think that.
Right.
People, we don't think it through. We stop, we connect to the emotion of scarcity. This person doesn't have enough love, so I have to step in and supply it. Okay? And what happens if that fails? Is that on me then, or is that on them? So that's where the scarcity complex comes in. That says there's not enough. And that gets in the way. That shuts us down. That closes the doors. Same thing with business and with work and other things. This scarcity complex, like there's not enough clients out there for my product. And if only my product and my personality or my service was exactly like Tony Robbins, then I could, fill in the blank. Or if only I was as great as a basketball coach as, I don't know, who's a good...
John Wooden.
There you go. If only as I was a John Wooden, I could have a bigger influence on these girls. Okay? But that gets in the way of you being David and the girls getting the benefit of Coach David. And
Try not to compare yourself to someone.
but if we're abundance mindset,
That's when you gotta redo your.
I'm not trying to be like Tony. You're not trying to be like John Wooten. You're not trying to be Mark Spain or whoever. Okay.
He's very specific. I'm not being Mark Spain.
But the abundance of that genius, intelligence, energy is out there. I can tap into, and I can be my own John Hyatt. I can meet him at the energy level, but I'm showing up as John Hyatt, not at Tony Robbins. You can meet John Wooten at the energy level on the court with your girls. You don't have to have a professional team to add that type of value or to be that type of influence. Okay? But if we think we're not enough, if we think we're not good enough, that's how we're going to approach life, is like, I'll never make it. Well, then I might as well not even try, or I'll just, believe less of myself. And of course that will impact our results too and what we put out there.
That's what her argument was, because she feels she's a good partner.
Yeah.
She says, I have to have partners for long, for 5, 9 years. I believe I'm a good partner. And so she just feels that there is something on the other side. Because for her, she's
Maybe,
perfect,
yeah, I don't think
Wow.
I don't think we're ever going to be perfect, but that's just my.
Right.
I think we're a work in progress. What I say to somebody says, "You're awesome." I said, "Well, I try to be, but I don't have my weekends, so don't put me on that pedestal because I will fall."
Well, and and the whole key thing to the law of attraction thing for her would be perhaps to realize that, wait a minute, I'm attracting. So what are these people mirroring back to me about myself, where there's still an opportunity for me to grow and learn from? And that's the only way we can create that change, is by paying attention and going, wait a minute, am I available or unavailable?
And she sounded unavailable.
You heard it.
You would have known because you were.
You heard it in her words, and probably more so her energy and her tone.
She always knew.
Or she's available on her terms.
This is a law of attraction of enter.
Yeah, this guy, it always goes into various topics. One time they got into religion, but how they coordinated the law of attraction, but that's for some reason came into relationship.
Yeah.
And she was very strong about it, what she had to say. But she really does, she believes in the law of attraction. You can tell she believes it. She just couldn't understand
Why she was attracting certain people.
And sometimes that's hard for women because they don't want to look in and say, "We need to fix this."
That's-
I can say that for myself, being,
And that's what.
my age, going, wait a minute.
Sure.
If I'm not going to try to fix this, then what am I attracting wrong?
Right.
Or what energy? And some people don't like to look and say, "Hey, that's my problem." Right?
No, they don't feel safe.
It's like, well, wait a minute, there's something wrong with you. But no. The only person I can control is me, so I need to be making better choices or working on me.
Right.
I think that's a good thing. I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing.
There's
It's on
someone-
air, right?
Someone threw the word authentic, and she says, "What does that mean?" He was trying to explain to her, and what it means is she's like, "But I could be authentic now in a way. I mean, I could say something and be authentic." And he was just trying to explain to her, but I mean, when you say that, I mean, what do you mean? It's authentic. And I say authentic is you saying and doing what you really feel free to do.
Right.
It's not manipulation. It's not a temporary feeling. You trying to get something. It's you being
Consistent who you are.
It's not you trying to get something. It's about being a selfless person. You showing yourself to get something.
It's about
Share and return back.
Yeah, it's about that aspect of having our thoughts, feelings, words, and actions and skills or behaviors in a sense of alignment or agreement with values, our personal values, whatever they are. It's me thinking something, speaking it, putting my actions in consistency with it. Okay? That's me being authentic. The authentic John Hyatt is boom, you get exactly what you see.
What are those words?
You know.
Thoughts.
Thoughts, feelings, words, actions, and skills or behaviors.
That's being authentic.
This is being authentic. Now, and this being authentic is attached to, remember, is attached to this. Our values.
Right.
The values that are aligned with, that again, that make up our REAL self.
I write that every day. I love that.
Do you write that every day?
I do.
Yeah. Our REAL self is our respected, esteemed, accepted, and loved self. Okay? So, John Hyatt is being authentic when I know what my values are and I'm stepping and acting from the point of my values. If I'm having a thought and my feelings are consistent with my thought and my words are consistent with my feelings and my thoughts and my actions are consistent with my feelings and my thoughts and my words and my skills and behaviors. I put skills here because we may simply just need to improve our skills as a way to become more authentic, like the way we communicate or our perspective skills. Okay?
And that's where I was saying, resetting your brain for a hypnotherapist friend of ours is when he said, why would you go there or why? Because your thoughts, you're trying to hone your craft or your skills, your behavior, and you're writing it, you're scripting it, you're talking about it. And sometimes you gotta get your brain connected to get it out. Does that make sense?
There's a lot of sense.
Some people are just saying, I'm stuck. I don't know what I'm doing. Repeating the same things over and over. I'm not understanding what I'm doing, and I want to fix me. And some people are like, this is getting it, but this seems not to be connecting. And that's when I said, I believe in hypnotherapy because
Exactly.
years, but something's not clicking. When people say, what's wrong? Something is just not clicking. And I'm writing it, I'm feeling it, but the thought is not connecting. And that's why I love John.
So when you're
Understands that. When people are like, what are you talking
well,
about?
and that is our constant challenge, because the part of our human beingness is not being in alignment. Part of our growth comes from thoughts one way, feelings another way, words another way, actions another way, limited skill set, and we're trying to make a relationship work when I'm not even being consistent with what I think and what I say to the person I'm in a relationship with. I feel one way and I speak another. Or I'm passive aggressive, or I'm narcissistic, or whatever. And we're in this inconsistent. See, there's no alignment there. Authenticity improves when we're consistent and aligned with our values, and we are coming from a place of empowerment. I'm not afraid to be the real me and say what I think and feel. Whether you agree with it or not, I'm not attached. You don't have to. See what I mean? Oh, we don't agree. Oh, you disagree. Oh, that's okay. You can disagree with me. Oh, and by the way, I'm kind of interested into the reasons why you disagree. From a standpoint of me not feeling the need to correct you, I'm just interested in how you arrive at your conclusion.
I like it when you say, tell me more. That's a great one.
Tell me more. Tell me why you disagree.
Tell me why. That's
And
She was under misunderstanding. She was thinking, well, that's a person that's say what they or what they want to say, or a person that has a heart. And he was just trying. No, it's not a person like that. Of normally a person, if you meet like that, he's normally in peace. He's quiet because
Is she single now?
she's single. And she has this thing, you know, where, okay, I mean, if I gotta be this, I gotta be tough.
yeah,
And he says, no, because if you're trying to be tough, then you're putting up
Front.
a front.
Oh, there's fear.
He was
Be
trying to
available.
explain it
Yeah.
to her, you know.
Yeah.
right,
Available.
right. That makes her unavailable. If I
Number one
feel
thing she had to do.
if I feel like I have to defend all the time, okay,
Right.
I am. All my power's on the outside. It's not on the inside. I can't show up authentic if I'm constantly feeling like I have to defend myself, or I have to remain quiet, or think or play small. Because if I play out my realness, then somebody doesn't disagree. If somebody disagrees, then I experience pain and I withdraw. So it's a empowerment. Personal empowerment comes from that orange sign right there. First, we practice some self-awareness. Then we start to demonstrate and get in touch with our respected, esteemed, accepted, and loved self. We assume 100% responsibility for what we want. We start to own our power, which means we start to reclaim power from people, places, or experiences that we've given our power away to. We start to get clear on what we want, who we are, and what we really want, especially around values: respect, peace, clarity, confidence, peace, love, joy, health, whatever they are. We honor what we want. Okay? Me honoring what I want and having boundaries is a whole lot different than me feeling the need to be tough. Big difference. Okay? And it finally starts to show up. We start to really increase and grow our empowerment when I can start to speak from my empowerment outward and let it land however it lands. Now, healing your past plays a huge role in getting to all of the above. Because if I've got people or events or experiences from my past that all of my energy and perspectives and thoughts, words, feelings, and actions are all in the past, until I heal that, I can only get to a very limited place in the others. And when does personal empowerment happen? In the present moment.
You know, the guy said something that I wrote, which was
Psychologist?
he's been doing this for a while, and he said in his definition.
So empowerment for us, what is it?
What is it?
It's self-awareness, it's authentic, real self, okay.
Those are the elements. How do you feel when you just take the word of empowerment, don't try and define it. If I say, how does Gabe feel? Describe to me how you feel when you are empowered. Confident. Knowledgeable.
Without looking. Yeah.
Consistent.
Consistent.
Right? Are you in alignment? Are your thoughts, words, feelings, and actions in alignment when you feel empowered?
My thoughts aren't.
No?
Well,
No.
depending on the situation, my thoughts are probably not.
Okay, I would say if you're feeling empowered, you're feeling it because you are having a thought of alignment and consistency, right? When I feel empowered, I'm like, I'm consistent. My thoughts, I'm being true to my thoughts. I'm being true to my words.
Yeah.
I'm being true to my emotions.
Yeah, but
It's the actions.
it's the action that you might not.
Okay.
See where it
Could be,
says,
yeah.
you might have the thought, I'm empowered, I have the feeling, I have the words, but there's no action behind it.
Right. And I think
And you're
after
not
she
being
was
authentic to yourself.
right, because you're thinking it,
Without actions,
but
there's
the action
no.
is different. And this the lady yesterday she was back.
Frustration.
Like you're feeling frustration.
Is frustration an element of empowerment?
No,
No.
no, but the consequences of
It is
empowerment.
frustration.
Sure.
Frustration, correct.
Yeah, because people might not agree with your
That's
empowerment.
what I was saying, frustration comes from that.
Yeah, they might disagree with the real Gabe coming out. Then what? Then the only question is if you're empowered, what do you do with other people's opinions about yourself? Does it have to fit?
Good point.
Okay.
Doesn't,
That's why I said last week when I wrote up,
nothing has to fit.
nothing has to fit. You might want it to. You might want it to fit.
Then you have to be available and show up.
Where does the fit have to take place?
The problem is that that frustration impacts all of that, and
It-
that's the problem.
It can. It definitely can. So then, where's your power? Outside or inside? If the source of the frustration is on other people and their
Outside.
reaction,
Yeah,
so who's got your power?
They do.
They do.
This why.
Damn it!
True.
Oh, we're all there. We've all been there.
He likes to respect the pace thing I said. So this is what the guy goes. He says, the simple part of life is to live within the tradition of the crowd and temporary acceptance.
Yeah.
The individual has always struggled with the courage to be oneself. You will be lonely and frightened often, but there will be fewer loneliness and fear when you respect the pace of owning the right to love yourself selflessly.
Yeah.
I was like, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is powerful.
Love yourself.
Absolutely.
I was like,
Yeah, we're not wired.
and she
for
was
that.
like this. Man, that was like over my head. You know, she's like, what you
Well, that's
mean?
good that she needed to hear that.
And she was kind of, and he was just trying to explain to her that relationships, people who love each other, and he says the craziest sound are individuals still. They both are still individuals.
Yes. And that's the beauty of it. You want the individuals. I want the real Gina. Gina wants the real John. I want to be the real John. She wants to be the real Gina. There's safety for me to be the real John. There's safety for her to be the real Gina without it meaning the end of the world. Why? Because we're trying to bring our empowerment into the situation to create that safety. Our goal is to try and be aligned within ourselves first in the relationship, and then are we in alignment with ourselves, or are we in alignment with each other? And it doesn't have to fit. We approach it every day that we want it to fit.
And that's true.
And if at any time it doesn't, to a significant standpoint, whatever happens, happens.
We are different. We are different.
We're different.
Yeah.
Oh, and is it okay for us to be different? Does one of us have to be wrong?
No, it's different.
No.
Not a fit. And it's, to me, the people I've seen that have been married a long time, they might not be the perfect fit, but they know how to make it work. And like I have two older sisters that have been married a long time.
I've been married 30 years.
30-something years. And she says, you know,
This is why what John was saying. I would love for my wife to write, if she was writing her profile.
Compromise.
Yeah, it's all about, that's what my sister says, it's all about.
It's all about
Well-
thinking.
Yeah.
It's all about because it's, it's all on.
One person can't do all the compromising.
No.
Again, but it's definitely that to fit
Right.
or not
To make
fit,
the fit.
and respecting.
Yeah.
So can you compromise?
And compromise creates the flexibility in the relationship for some bending and molding. But not because somebody has to, but because they want to. Oh, wait a minute, I want to be available for that. Well, I want to be available for that. Okay, then we find a way to mold and fit.
Like work, you go to a meeting, and everybody got all these things, and then finally I be like, listen, what's the end goal? What we trying to do? I mean, the goal is this, right? So all this other stuff
Don't matter.
doesn't matter.
We gotta do the work to get there.
But people want to hear, people want to talk, and people want to hear them talk.
Yes, I mean, we had a meeting today. People
And that's the
just
frustrating
talk
part
for
that I
Yeah.
have a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it don't get me frustrated, but it gets me like, to a point where I said, listen,
What a waste of time.
What's the end goal?
Yeah.
But you're trying to keep them on track.
Right.
I always do that. I'm like, okay, I hear you out. What is our end result? Well, then what is our goal? What are we
Right.
trying
What are we trying to do
You
today?
want to win, and you want to
to
win.
win?
Right.
But for both of us to win,
Yeah.
we got
Right.
Right.
What? Right. Sure.
Compromise.
bottle.
You come to the
Right.
same goal.
Nothing has to fit. You
Right.
want to fit.
And another thing too is honoring the process, respecting the pace, okay, of putting together a puzzle. How long does it take to put a 1,000-piece puzzle together? Okay, it takes a long time.
To, like you said, if it feels like it's right, divine time and order, we'll let you know, and if not, then this is not the right divine time and order.
Can I take
That's
a
right.
picture of that?
Oh yeah, 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 exactly. It's not the divine time and order for this to try and make this piece fit. It's okay that it doesn't fit right now. Might it fit later? Maybe.
Maybe. That's the
But we'll set it aside. We're not going to judge it. We're not going to judge each other, except to say, not a fit. You know, not a fit. Not a fit because it demonstrates something contrary to our values. Okay? And that's what, we don't compromise on the values. Okay? You don't compromise on a value like respect. Okay? I'm sorry, I am not available. I am not available for compromising on respect. And when I say respect, respect looks like, feels like, and sounds like this.
Yeah, because sometimes I always tell women, you gotta tell, people do not read people's minds. You've got to tell them what you want.
You've got to speak up. You've got to speak your truth.
Because the man's not gonna, or the client's not gonna know what is our end result?
Yeah.
Like you said, what is our goal, what is the result?
They want to win, and you want to win.
Yeah. So how do we create a win-win?
What's the discussion?
And that's what I have in my office. I have this thing that I read, Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of...
Yeah, Stephen Covey,
Stephen Covey, yes. yes.
7 Habits of Effective People.
Win.
Yeah.
And I have it in my office because I don't want to lose. You don't want to lose. I don't want to win. You win. I lose. So
Right.
It's a situation that has to be where we try to get to a win-win. The only way we have to come to some type of thing that was important.
Right.
I said when we go like this, that's why I said I love the law of track and stuff. I said when it goes like this, I said think about it. When we going like this, we're dead.
Yeah.
But when you're in the hospital and it's going like that, we're alive. And we're alive. We working together. We make it happen. But as long as we button like this, man, we like
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Straight line,
yeah.
man. And it was like, wow, Dave, what do you think of that stuff?
Right.
I like it.
Because it's just giving me a headache right now. That's why. Let's move on.
Well, we are always creating conditions for what we want. And remember, we show up available to create conditions for success. Okay? So when I'm showing up here or I'm showing up there, I'm showing up available to create conditions for success. And the only question is how do we define success, which is a great question to ask. How do we want to define success here? What does success look like given the parties involved, the objectives, our resources, our time? What does success look like? Feel like and sound like? Okay, is everybody available to assist with this process? And by the way, none of this has to fit. We want it to fit.
That's the key word. So honor what you want.
Honor what you
Does
want.
that mean you're questioning what you want?
No, that means you're already clear on what you want and you believe that you deserve what you want and you're good enough to ask for what you want and that what you want is a worthy and deserving preference.
So maybe you're not good at defining
You know.
what you want.
It's a good thing, like a relationship thing yesterday. Like you know what you want, right? And the guy's name is Russell. He says, I can get all his relationship, your mother, your brother, your daughter, your kids. what do you want?
Yeah.
I mean, before you say that thing, what do you want from really that person? You know, from your spouse, from your partner. Because if you're going to say something that's opposite of what you want, but you really want something different, you're going to get the opposite.
Yep.
And he was like, he was clear.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's, you know, he said it works like that.
Yeah.
We know it, but to put it out there, you kind of like, man,
That's why the law of attraction works with how you're vibrating, not just the words that you say. Because if I say I want a relationship with you, but my thoughts are always inconsistent, and my emotions are inconsistent, and my actions are inconsistent with that, I'm putting out attraction for what I don't want. See what I'm saying? And that's why it becomes important to focus only on what you want, not what you don't want. And to rewire your brain and your words and your emotions to say, wait a minute, what do we want to create here? Let me tell you what I want and why I honor what I want. And let me tell you how important it is that I know what you want. And I want you to honor what you want. Because if I want respect or peace or open communication or safety or whatever in a relationship with somebody, I honor that. So honor is going to dictate what boundaries I put around myself. If I don't honor what I want, you can slap me around and I'm going to be codependent and I'm going to allow you to manipulate me or disrespect me and I won't care. And you know, that's what happens is people don't have personal empowerment in place. They get in a relationship with a narcissistic or abusive person. They get slapped around. That abuse starts even at an early age. And so their mind's conditioned to accept that. And so they lose the strength and the ability to put a boundary up anymore. Okay? And you have that. But by honoring what you want, by first knowing what you want, wait a minute, I want safety, respect, peace, kindness. That allows me to put my boundary up. And for me to go, and for me to be able to tell, oh, that's kindness. Awesome. I'm open to that. Oh, that's unkindness. No. You know what? Because I'm not available for kindness, I'm going to go ahead and back out of this conversation or this experience or this relationship. You're allowed to be as unkind as much as you want to. I'm not going to tell you you shouldn't be unkind. I'm just telling you I'm not showing up to receive you and meet you at your unkindness level.
you feel good later. You be like,
Yeah. I feel good.
I'm still moving.
And I don't have to hate on them. I'm not leaving any power out there going to them. Oh, darn that person, they shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. They should do this instead. I'm not going to call them 5 years from now. I'm still, you know. That's why a lot of people that are divorced, you know, men and women, and they're still years later still angry at their spouse. And I'm like, are you still married? It sounds like you're still married. I don't think you ever got divorced. You might have a paper that says you're divorced, but you never got divorced. You got so much energy still going back to that person. I better honor your marriage.
My ex-wife, she's so upset.
Yeah. That stuff can stick
over 15 years.
15 years.
Oh, wow.
You know, I met a couple saying they was
Still today.
Yeah.
The guy I met yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? He was only married.
And know if you go back and fix it.
He was married 3 years. His daughter's 26, and his wife still today.
Lord,
Even
where
for
did
him,
it go?
even for him, I'm like, wow. He said, you know, David, and that was we divorced 23 years ago.
Where'd it
But
go?
every time I see her, it's like it's 23 years.
I'm like, dude, when are you going to get divorced? When you going to set yourself free? Exactly.
The daughter.
Yeah.
I said, "You married?" He said, "No, man. I divorced like 20 years ago."
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you talk to her? Man, I haven't talked to her in years. I'm like, wow.
So that's where if you know what you want and you honor what you want, finally you get the courage to say, I don't want that anymore. I am divorced. I'm divorcing my energy, my attention, my time, my emotions. No, I'm releasing. It's time to detach. And because I honor myself, I'm going to have the courage to cut the cord. Even though it might feel uncomfortable or uncertain, I'm going to cut that cord anyway. That's what it means when I honor what I want. This is going to be challenging, but I want respect more than I want this. Cut and release. Cut and release.
I drive my wife crazy with that. She says, how you can be still good with that person? And I said, because I have no attachment. I have none.
Well, plus they're not worth the energy.
And I got this one guy, he can get me there too at work, but my wife says, man, I don't know how you do this. So every time I see him, I was just bored. I said, because I have no attachment. Wow. I have none. And you know, because I maintain that, when he's around me, there's changes.
See?
No, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
And we could I just look at it like an hour ago. He says, man, Dave. I said, I'm not attached to that. It's not personal.
No.
Not personal.
They're not getting my power.
And when he did get it once, I was off balance like the whole day. I had to get myself back up. Because he got me. And he kept, he just keep going. And eventually I had to, not that he got me, I had to say something to stop it.
Right.
You got to say something to yourself.
You had to speak your truth.
Yes.
To him or to yourself?
There you go.
What did you say?
Because he was talking and he was going on and on and on, and I'm like trying to be like the thing, the guy who stay in my peace mode, I want to make in my mode, I ain't gonna let him take me to that mode.
Well, see, and this is a great example. So David, in that situation, practiced all of those steps. He was self-aware. He was paying attention to his own energy. He was tuned into his real self. He was going, wait a minute. I thrive on self-respect. What's happening here? Oh, I'm going to assume 100% responsibility for my energy. This is my energy, and I'm going to own my power. So I'm going to take the power back that I've been given him. I know what I want, which is peace. Okay? And I'm going to honor what I want by speaking my truth. Boom.
It's hard to do sometimes.
It's not easy, but the more we practice it,
You were present in the moment.
and he was present in the
Yeah,
moment.
you did all the elements.
Because it was hard to do, it was only hard to do because I was trying to maintain my peace. But then I wasn't really maintaining because I wasn't really speaking my truth.
Right.
That's hard to do when you're emotionally with a child.
And he was only available and able to do that because he had healed any elements of his past that would have kept him stuck in that giving people, I'm just going to give people my power and let it upset me, and I'm not going to deal with it. I'm going to hold on to that energy. I mean, these are the models and they work. And when we're scripting in the last few minutes, let's talk about scripting for a second. So remember, scripting is writing as if you already have what you want. Scripting occurs in a really nice journal where you've dedicated it on the page, and then you write daily, preferably from a state of gratitude and abundance mindset. So, we script about relationships, money, health, spiritual development, and our jobs. Okay? Those are the 5 pillars of scripting. Scripting creates a space, allows you to have a space for getting clear on what you want. So if you want to start getting clear on what you want, start scripting about what you want. Take a current...
What you want or what you already
what
have?
you want as if you already have it.
What you want,
Right.
you already have.
So if you're in a relationship with
I got
somebody,
confused a little bit, yeah.
if you're in a relationship with somebody and you want better communication, Thank you, God, for the communication that has already improved between me and my partner. We have created an atmosphere of safety for one another where we feel secure and safe to be our real selves, to find compromise, to have an abundance mindset, to speak with kindness, to share our true feelings. This looks like this way. It feels like this. It sounds like this. Thank you, God, that it's already done. And I show up available to receive it now. What were you saying, Charlene, about your current scripting experience?
In business, I script that, went more clients.
And it's not happening.
No, it was a really drought there. I mean, I finally got, or wanted to sell this house, and it's never taken me. My daughter.
So the house hasn't moved, or the issues with...
I started looking for a house for my daughter in, what was it, May? We're still under contract because the general contractor hasn't finished doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Okay.
We're supposed to close on it in October.
So when you're scripting about that, what are you scripting?
I'm scripting about that, that everything will be aligned in divine time and order. That'll work out when it's supposed to. But it's frustrating because you're dealing with a young 24-year-old girl that she's the buyer. So I'm living with the buyer, and I never stop with real estate.
Okay.
I work 12 hours a day, and I come home and she wants to talk about the house.
Okay.
What happened in divine time, when it's supposed to happen. We want to be in that house, and what's supposed to be done right. The inspector already said this and this and things to be done. I've already done Amendment 5, and I will do Amendment 6 when it's needed. But at this time, we have to be at peace where we're at this time.
Good.
And I'm just like, I give it back to her.
Yeah.
I'm like, respect the pace.
Yeah.
There's a lesson.
Yeah.
It's a lesson we're trying to learn.
Right.
In this growth. It's in God's divine time and order.
Right.
It's not my job to question Him. It's
Right.
my job to show you. Practice the people and patience.
And in fact, if we were to create an abundance mindset around this experience, what would we write about? The general contractor demonstrates a sense of urgency to complete the projects that we've requested of him. He becomes even more friendly and open and willing to give his time, energy, and resources to our project.
Beyond what we've asked on the-
Yeah, we radiate trust and love outwards to this general contractor and see him influenced and open. Or we see a new general contractor coming in to take over the project who demonstrates urgency and professionalism and competence. See what I'm saying? So you're opening up a whole another venue, another door for movement to occur. Okay? Because that general contractor is not your only resource.
No, it's not. There's abundance
There you go.
for the people that are working.
So if you were to tell your daughter, and what's your daughter's name?
Ashley.
Ashley, let's just speak a blessing right now over our general contractor and see him full of professionalism, urgency, and quality craftsmanship when it comes to our project. In fact, why don't we pick up the phone right now and say thank you for the work that he has done so far?
That's the trick.
She don't want to say that.
Well, but
everything wrong.
That's the trick.
then maybe you need, maybe this lesson is about, do we have the right general contractor?
Well, we don't have a choice. We didn't pick the general contractor.
Okay.
The sellers picked the contractor.
Would the sellers be open to choosing another general contractor?
No, because he has an option in it.
Okay.
That's the sad part. But the city of Marietta is making him do what he's supposed to do because somebody called.
Okay.
code enforcement.
See, there you go. There's something else to script about. The officials.
Your daughter has the whole thing, should have, supposed to, why not
Yeah.
have to. That's blocking. That's what I think.
Sure. You're exactly right, Gabe.
That's what she's got to let it go because she's staying home
Yeah,
sick today
that's
with
a
a
block.
headache and being sick to her stomach. And I'm
Yep.
like, you are taking this personally. You got to.
All her power is out there.
Yeah.
So you're giving everyone your power.
This is how it works. This is what happens.
And she's like, where are you going tonight? I said, I have to talk to John because you're driving me crazy.
Right.
And she's so mad that it's like, why do you say it's going to happen in divine time
You guys
and order?
have
Divine time and order.
You have to be in tune
It's
together.
in tune, yes. And it's really hard because because, you know, she's 24 and I live with her at this time. And
She's
it's
like
just like,
27, honestly.
I know, that's true.
Living
You
in
and
my
I talk
world.
about our daughters all the time. It's like, we've been through this.
And that's why when you go to that appreciation state, when in doubt, you script appreciation and gratitude, and you look for every single element to express gratitude and appreciation, especially those places where there's resistance to it.
Because I've been scripting and appreciating my new clients that are mutually respectful, qualified sellers and buyers and investors. And I've been writing that for about 3-4 months now. And I haven't got any new buyers or sellers or investors. So I keep scripting that.
There you go.
Being very grateful.
Yes.
But I'm very specific because they have to be qualified and mutually respectful, because I had a couple that I had to fire and really let go.
Okay, well, this is where you script that there's an abundance of those people out there.
Script that there's an abundance.
God, thank you that there's an abundant, there's an infinite and unlimited number of people out there who are a source to me, who are available to me, and I am being divinely led to them right now. I release and let go of any, scarcity or lack of thinking, and instead radically trust that I'm being led to the right people.
I like that word. Okay. Radical trust. I think you said that before.
Yep, it's up there. So, in closing, remember how powerful of a creator you really are. Remember and be grateful for everything you've created right up to this moment, no matter how it went down. However it went down, it was supposed to have gone down just that way. Why? For this to happen. And that means you can look at your current situation right now from the standpoint of, who am I? Who I am in any given situation is always greater than what's happening. I'm the one. Abundance mindset, my REAL self, divine time and order, looking to allow the pieces to fit together because I want them to, not because a single piece has to fit. I release and let go of that. I trust each one of you in what you are creating for your own world. You know what is right for you. You know what you want. Give what you want honor, dignity, and respect, and practice these concepts, and you'll be amazed at what you'll attract into your experience. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight.